Good morning. Happy Wednesday? It is Wednesday, right? Hump day. I think James Freeman needs to change his hairstyle to the I need to speak with your manager kind of hairstyle. Put out a video. On the thumbnail, it says, "We investigated ourselves and ... The obvious implication is that we investigated ourselves and we found nothing wrong. We did nothing wrong." He's really mad. The Sioux Falls, South Dakota incident. The police investigated the actions of their officers as the employer, and they found that those officers violated policy. Now, the officer who was giving the briefing didn't say that they found it, but he said, well, the matter's been turned over to personnel. He can't talk about it. He can't talk about it because they probably have union kinds of restrictions on it, or just human resource kinds of restrictions on it. And generally speaking, human resource stuff is kept kind of private because, well, just as a society, we have found that that works best. And that's for all jobs, not just for police. If, I don't know, if Freeman had an employer and I called Freeman's employer, I wouldn't expect Freeman's employer to tell me what was going on with Freeman's human resources. But Freeman doesn't get paid by the state, and they do. Yes, but they're still employees. And employees should have some measure of protection from having their personal stuff. Oh, you were late? Why were you late? I'm a taxpayer. I want to know if you were late, when you were late, why you were late. I'm a taxpayer. And that's policy. And policy, as the auditors will tell you when it benefits them, is not law. But in this case, it's literally policy. The officers violated policy. Now you're going to say, but John, you said that was a bad arrest. You said that it was an unjustified arrest, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I did. I didn't say they committed a crime, though. And if they did commit a crime, I wouldn't expect the Sioux Falls, South Dakota Police Department to investigate it. I would expect the Attorney General or the DA's office or some sort of internal affairs division to investigate it. But if there was a policy violation, which there clearly was here, I would expect the police department to investigate it because it's the police department's policy and it's the police department's employees. And the police department should investigate policy violations, their own internal policy violations, shouldn't they? Shouldn't they? But Freeman just isn't happy about it. He wants, he doesn't understand, throws up his hands in the air, doesn't understand why they won't admit that they screwed up. Why won't you admit it? Well, James Freeman, you fucking retard. I would tell them the same thing I would tell any other person who may or may not be at fault for a civil suit. Don't admit liability. That's why, James Freeman, you dummy. I don't understand. Here, Mr. Freeman, let us investigate ourselves and help you with your civil suit. Doesn't work that way. You get to do your own background on that. You get to do your own discovery, all that fun stuff. You got to prove that they did it because the judge might not find that there is any civil liability. Might not find it. Would a judge find civil liability? That's a good question. They can make reasonable mistakes of fact and reasonable mistakes of law, and I don't know all the justifications they might throw up, but there you go. It is an open question. I think on the liability issue, though, that South Dakota dude who was arrested would have a pretty good chance of winning on the liability issue. It's again up to the damages issue. He did go to jail, but I don't know if that's going to really be a huge windfall for him. But he might get a settlement that's, a 5-figure settlement. I doubt he'll get more than $500,000 in a 5-figure settlement, but if he settles, it'll probably be about 5 figures. I'm guessing, for a night in jail and all the other fun stuff, provided that the charges have been dropped on him. If the charges are still open, then probably not. I don't know why I'm telling him this, but whatever. Anyway, so James, in exasperation, had thrown up his hands in the air. I just don't understand, why don't they admit that there's different laws for police officers and for lawyers and for judges? Well, that's a tough question, James. I know you just want judges and lawyers and police officers to admit that there are different laws for judges, lawyers, and police officers. Unfortunately, there isn't. And your evidence that there is really isn't evidence. Assault and battery, there are justifications, generally speaking, for assault and battery. That means you can't be prosecuted for assault or battery, or you can't be found guilty of assault and battery if you were making an arrest. So that's usually a problem. Kidnapping, again, same thing. Usually arrest is a justification for all of the activities that would normally be associated with kidnapping. Or maybe it's a defense in your state, or maybe it's whatever, who knows? Maybe it's just by definition specifically isn't kidnapping if it is an arrest. But my point is that there is one set of laws, and you could look them up if you weren't so busy trying to be exasperated, and you can listen and try to figure out why things don't work the way you want them to, or why they don't work the way you think they work. Or you could keep being exasperated, making your stupid little propaganda videos and trying to convince people that it's the police are at fault and it's not you who have criminally harassed people online multiple times and been convicted of it multiple times. It's them though, James. It's not you. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.